Recently, there was a lot of political grandstanding at the Emmys, as one should expect, from Stephen Colbert being awarded an Emmy for, pushing COVID and trying to intervene on the behalf of his network in a political election. But of course, they reward their own. But among those grandstanding, you had Javier Bardem that decided to give a free Palestine uh, rant on the Emmys red carpet. And it just brought me to this thought of why are the Jews that have a lot of influence in Hollywood, why are those Jews allowing this free Palestine talk that's been going on in Hollywood? And I've come to the conclusion it's because the Jews that run Hollywood have given the go ahead to make this stance. Because ultimately they're going to do what they're going to do in Israel, and no one's going to do anything about it, unless America stops supporting it, which more than likely is not going to happen because they've been doing it since the creation of that state. So I gather that they allow the talking point to exist because aesthetically, people still look at and refer to Jewish folks as white. And so when the aesthetic is white skinned people genocided and oppressing brown skinned people, it still fits the racial politics narrative that they like to promote. And ultimately, it comes back around to blaming whitey and trying to upend Western culture and civilization, which is their ultimate goal anyway. The real heat isn't coming on Jewish people in general. I mean, you'll never hear any of these Holly weirdos take it a step further by saying free Palestine and also let's expose, the Jewish supremacy in this country that aids Israel. Like, they never call out Jewish people specifically in all of these rants. They're usually talking about Benjamin or just free Palestine in general and talking about Israel as a state, as a government. They're not condemning or attacking the Jewish people, which is why, again, the Javier Bardems of the world are allowed to speak out on this. So it's not the controversial talking point as one would assume it is. I mean, because we know, they play both sides of the field. I mean, we have, Republicans that are pretend Republicans that push liberal ideology, and then you have the liberals who are on the obvious liberal side of the Democrats that pushes liberal ideology. So they play both sides of the field. Because ultimately what they want is the Palestinian people to be spread out throughout the Western world as refugees to, again, continue to upend Western culture and civilization, which is why you've had negotiations and talks about where to send these people. And it's usually to send them to other Western nations, aka white countries. So Javier and any and everybody like him is not being some bold contrarian. His talking points that he's spouting is just an allowed talking point that is a part of a cog within the system to push this, globalist, anti-Western civilization ideology. And, I can't believe him being an actor and actors being so moronic. They probably don't comprehend that they're speaking aloud talking points, but I feel like you have to have some clue, because if you talk about certain other things, let's say honoring Charlie Kirk and seeing how the job opportunities decrease after something like that, or advocating anything that is viewed as conservative, then you would see the difference between an allowed talking point and are not a loud talking point.